go to the Northern Cape. The ANC is gearing up for its 108th birthday celebrations in Kimberley this weekend, but party president Cyril Ramaphosa has cancelled his appearance at Walk and Gold Day, which was meant to take place this morning. Well, that will not stop many from questioning him about plans for Eskom and the struggling South African economy. Well, our colleague ANC anchor Thulasizwe Simelane is there and joins us live now. Mfampembe, good morning to you. Let's start here. Why did the president cancel his plans this morning? Anything in particular to read into it?
Well, Toli, we started getting a sense late last night that there's a possibility that President Cyril Ramaphosa could pull out of the morning walk, which was meant to happen in Galeshewe township, as well as the golf day. And indeed, in the wee hours of this morning, that statement being sent out from the ANC confirming that he is not participating in the walk. They don't elaborate on the details, but the sense we are getting from those we are talking to is that it could be an issue of, the program was pretty packed, as they always are, as you will know, in this week of January, with ANC political activities, in that the president simply just needs a timeout and just needs a bit of a break because the program is not done yet. Tonight is going to be a long night for the ANC leadership as they have their gala dinner going into tomorrow morning, which is also going to be a long day. So the sense I'm getting is that the ANC wants its pound of flesh from its president, but so does the country as well, because the president continues to face issues as the country's president, including that all-important issue around state-owned enterprises, as well as Eskom and load shedding. On Sunday, after taking part in all these processes, he's receiving the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, who is on an incoming state visit. But also don't forget, going forward, you also have the G20 happening. You also have the African Union Summit also happening. He does tend to take a bit of a strain around this time. I remember last year we ended up on a state visit in India, and even then there was indication from the presidency that not much should be expected of him by way of media engagement, simply because the program was pretty grueling and he needed a bit of a timeout. So it does seem that that could be the reason why he's pulled out of these events today.
Well, Tulas, lots of people still digesting the comments from his number two, David Mabuza, and the claims that he was misled not only by the Eskom board, but also the Public Enterprises Minister, Pravin Gordhan. Pravin Gordhan is a staunch ally of the president. Why would he do that?
Yeah, that's where we are, Oli. That's where we are exactly. What exactly happened? What is the basis for President Cyril Ramaphosa at that level, knowing that the president speaking with so much authority on that issue would basically give it that authority and assurance to South Africans that there would be no load shedding. And if I remember the dates correctly, I think it was the 17th of December to the 13th of January. It seems in the last 24 hours, let me start by saying this, Oli, that it was Deputy President David Mabuza's own view, responding to a question from the SABC's Samgele Masego about whether, he believes that the Eskom board and the Minister of Public Enterprises misled the president, and the Deputy President giving a straight answer and basically saying they misled the president, and then going on, of course, to explain that you can't say there'll be no load shedding without emphasizing the issue of maintenance of the Eskom plant. And that is where the convergence of message seems to be happening, because right now the presidency basically saying that they don't believe that President Cyril Ramaphosa was misled, but rather it was an issue of there should not be load shedding in the specified time. There would be all work done to ensure that there would be no load shedding. But these things do happen in that you have unplanned outages and unplanned plant breakage. which then takes out a certain amount from from the grid, leading to unexpected load shedding. So that's where you're seeing a convergence. Gwede Mantashe, who is the national chairperson of the ANC, but also sits in the energy war room as Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, then also weighing in and basically saying the president doesn't run power stations, and therefore was making that assurance based on what the engineers and the technical people at Eskom were saying, and basically also trying to reel it back and saying that the president was not saying there would be no load shedding during this time, but rather there shouldn't be load shedding within this time, all things being equal.
Tulas, just a quick one on this. We're picking up reports here that the Secretary General, Ace Magashule, was caught up in what seemed to have been factional battles in the Francis Bard region, which led to him abandoning his door-to-door visit. Do we know what happened there?
Yeah, according to a report, I think it was on Times Live. In fact, it was on Times Live. Basically, the reporting of that team talking about an incident in Jan Kempdorp, where basically they're saying that it seemed so disjointed and so uncoordinated, with the result that one faction of the ANC in that region and that area wanted the ANC Secretary General to go in one direction, while another faction wanted him to go in a different direction. And they're also reporting Times Live on what they're saying ended up being disagreement between the Secretary General and one of the local leaders about whether or not all ANC leaders and members are equal, whether there's equality there. But I must say, we are reporting this based on what Times Live is reporting. We were not ourselves there at that particular event. But let me quickly then add, Xoli, that if this was meant to be a reality check by the ANC to get it in touch with the situation on the ground that people are facing on the ground, but as well as the state of the ANC itself in the Northern Cape, then it's a perfect build-up in that they would have gotten the sense that they wanted to get. But if it was a PR exercise, this week has been difficult, Xoli, because the problems in this province, in this city of Kimberley, have come to the fore in a pretty sharp way. I mean, this morning, as I went for a run, I saw one of the headlines in Afrikaans reporting that Yelepaye as Achamors, your roads are a mess, and attributing that to the ANC and country president Cyril Ramaphosa. And that's just a snapshot of the plethora of problems that they've come across in this province in the build-up.
Thank you very much, our colleague there in the Northern Cape.